Many European Union countries are on the verge of collapse. We're going to look at 4 or 5 countries. I hope you watch this thing till the end because there's a lot of information that is coming your way on this particular monologue. And I'm going to show you a slide deck, go country by country, and tell you what appears to be collapsing in each of these countries. Here we go. First one we're going to take a look at is Germany. What really happened? First thing was the finance minister either got fired or resigned. So let's just go back to the very beginning. The ruling coalition in Germany consists of 3 ideologically diverse parties such as the Social Democratic Party, the Free Democratic Party, and the Green Party. Now, this alliance has collapsed. The Chancellor Olaf Scholz, leader of the SPD, that is Social Democratic Party, that is SDP, it's not SPD, he fired the finance minister Christian Lindner from the FDP, which is the other partner, prompting over a budget dispute, prompting the FDP to withdraw from the coalition. So once one coalition partner goes out, you know what happens. The majority gets lost. But they need to figure out how to stay together and hold a majority. Do the SDP and Green Party have the majority? They do not. So what happens now? Political gridlock. But will they continue to be in power, or is there going to be a snap election called? That's the next question. Well, what is happening now is they are temporarily governing, but they are finding it very difficult to pass any kind of legislation. Now, what Scholz has done is he has announced a vote of confidence in January. Predictions suggest that this remaining combination of the Green with SDP is going to lose. If that happens, that would trigger an early federal election originally scheduled for 2025, now potentially in December of this year. Early elections may elevate opposition parties such as the conservative CDU, CSU, or the far-right AfD, altering Germany's political trajectory. So now they were socialist, now they are going to probably go towards conservative coalition in power in Germany. Now let's take a look at the Dutch government. What has been happening in the Netherlands? The Dutch government currently grappling with internal tensions over immigration policies. This has been a problem with all these countries, Scandinavian countries, Sweden, Norway, Finland, Netherlands, and many of these countries. Netherlands again is suffering from a population collapse, I should say, because not many people are marrying. Even those who are married who are not having children. If you are not even married, there is a question of having children, right? There are some exceptions, of course. The situation intensified following the resignation of Finance State Secretary affiliated with the centrist New Social Contract Party. And why did she resign? She resigned because Wilders accused Moroccans of being responsible for attacks on Israeli soccer fans. Remember this one I covered recently, and suggested deportation for those with dual nationality involved in the violence. So looks like some Moroccans have Morocco as well as Dutch nationality. Now, despite this crisis, the Dutch managed to survive. An emergency meeting was convened to address the issue, resulting in an agreement that prevented further resignations and stabilized the government for the time being. Remember that it is not Geert Wilders who is the prime minister. The coalition wouldn't allow him, who is very clear in his views on Islam. They didn't allow him to become the prime minister. Whether it is the people inside the Netherlands or somebody else who is saying this, we don't know. The Dutch PM Dick Schoof has said that his cabinet has reached an agreement, resulting in only the resignation of Achabar and not of others. This political turmoil underscores the deep divisions that are there within the Dutch government, and it also shows that perhaps this is not the end of the story. Now, what happened in France? Remember, I told you again, I did a monologue on France, how the France numbers are forcing Macron to make statements such as the one where he said that we should stop supplying arms to Israel. Remember that? Okay. France is now experiencing a significant political crisis marked by government instability and public discontent. Now remember guys, Macron is at the center, Le Pen is on the right, and then there are the people on the left. Right now, center and left together are in a coalition. If the left ditches the center, then Macron completely loses out. This is where things are of these three. And I did a complete monologue on this. You'll have to go back and just go to PGurus channel and type on, say, Macron, and you'll get a lot of this data. Now, what has happened is several ministers have stepped down because of corruption scandals. In June 2024, President Macron dissolved the National Assembly, leading to early legislative elections. This resulted in a hung parliament. We know all that stuff. With the NFP, New Popular Front, securing a plurality of seats but falling short of an absolute majority. Following the elections, the government submitted its resignation on July 15th. Macron retained the government in a caretaker capacity while negotiations to appoint a new prime minister and form a new government are underway. In October 2024, Michel Barnier was appointed as the prime minister, but he has been having challenges managing a substantial public deficit and has been addressing public dissatisfaction with proposed budgetary measures. France has a lot of restrictive laws that make it almost impossible to hire somebody full-time. A story on another day, because I know a lot of that stuff. I used to be part of a French company. The 2025 budget bill, which includes tax hikes and spending cuts, has sparked strong opposition from various political factions and labor unions. Europe has a tendency to kick back and relax. They have month vacation, 30 days vacation. Even India doesn't have it. Public confidence in democratic institutions is waning, particularly among the youth. And then there's a joke that if you are a technologist and if you want to rise in your career, you should either emigrate to United States or go to Netherlands. And within Europe, you can easily move about. You can work in any country. So that facility is there. A recent poll indicates that the youth have lost faith in democracy, reflecting deep-seated political and social divisions. I mean, God forbid they'll go for fascism. That will be really bad. France is grappling with political instability, economic challenges, and a decline in public trust, all of which contribute to a complex and evolving political landscape. Next, we take a look at what happened in Italy. Italian courts have recently issued rulings that challenge the government's plan to process asylum seekers in Albania. What they wanted to do was they didn't want to have them come to Italy to seek asylum, instead go to Albania. An Italian court on November 11th ruled against detaining 7 migrants from Bangladesh and Egypt in Albanian centers, ordering their transfer to Italy. The court also referred the plan's legality to the European Court of Justice. In October 2024, a similar court decision blocked the detention of 12 migrants in Albania, questioning the scheme's compliance with European laws. Following these setbacks, Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister, issued a decree to designate certain countries as safe, aiming to facilitate the return of migrants. The move seeks to circumvent legal obstacles but has faced criticism and further legal scrutiny. The legal system in Europe is very woke, guys. The same thing happened to Rishi Sunak when he tried to deport people. In fact, he had an agreement with Rwanda where he would pay so much per illegal to come and live in Rwanda and do some work there. Everything was arranged. And even then, the UK courts wouldn't allow it. Over a dozen humanitarian organizations have criticized the Italy-Albania migration agreement, stating it breaches medical ethics and human rights. They argue that the facilities in Albania are inadequate for assessing migrants' vulnerabilities, especially given the trauma many have experienced. So how is Meloni going to solve this problem? Now, a lot of debates are going in Italy as to what needs to be done. The ruling also has implications for other European nations who also are considering similar offshore processing arrangements. Well, there's an easy way to solve this problem, and it's cruel, but it's an easy way. See what the Saudi Arabians do when somebody comes on a boat to try and land illegally. That's the hint. Now, what happened to the Spanish royals? They faced fury and mud. During a visit to flood-ravaged 𝗣𝗽𝗼𝗼 near Valencia, Spain, the royals, King Philip and Queen Letizia, faced an angry crowd of survivors who hurled mud and insults at them. This is sad because that one was a massive flood. The frustration over the delayed relief efforts really got the people on. They are very angry. What is mud throwing? It's a symbolic act to show your displeasure. It's not like they disrespected the king and the queen. It's just that, look, the government is not doing anything. You are the one who is the face of the government today here, we're going to throw mud at you. This event has intensified debates on government accountability and role of monarchy during national crisis, because they really don't have any power. So why go and take it to them? Why go and stick it to them and say that you are the reason all this is happening? That's really, really sad. In my opinion, at least, taking pot shots at the king and queen of Spain is not in good taste. Again, this is just my opinion. Also, is the monarchy even applicable in all these countries? That's another question for another day. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.